Good morning, everybody. Today we are going to be talking about polygons.
How can you identify and classify polygons?
Howdy, folks. I'm doing a little stargazing. Tonight, the stars seem to form a shape I've seen before. I wonder what shape it is. Click the stars to see the shape. Let's see. This shape has 6 sides, and it looks like they're all the same length. The shape also has 6 angles, and the angles look like they're all the same size too.
Let's use tables to identify the repeated polygon in this fortress. Let's unlock this problem. A polygon is a closed plane figure formed by 3 or more line segments that meet at points called vertices. It is named by the number of sides and angles it has. Before we solve the problem, let's classify different polygons by the number of sides, angles, and vertices. First, let's classify a triangle. What are the characteristics of a triangle? A triangle has 3 sides, 3 angles, and 3 vertices. The next polygon is a quadrilateral. What are the characteristics of a quadrilateral? A quadrilateral has 4 sides, 4 angles, and 4 vertices. The next polygon is a pentagon. What are the characteristics of a pentagon? A pentagon is made up of 5 sides, 5 angles, and 5 vertices. What about a hexagon? A hexagon has 6 sides, 6 angles, and 6 vertices. Next, there is the heptagon. A heptagon has 7 sides, 7 angles, and 7 vertices. What about the octagon? The octagon has 8 sides, 8 angles, and 8 vertices. What are the characteristics of the next polygon, the nonagon? The nonagon has 9 sides, 9 angles, and 9 vertices. Lastly, there is the decagon. The decagon has 10 sides, 10 angles, and 10 vertices. Which polygon do you see repeated in the structure? The octagon is the repeated polygon in the Castel del Monte because it has 8 sides, 8 angles, and 8 vertices. When line segments have the same length, or when angles have the same measure, they are congruent. In a regular polygon, all sides are congruent and all angles are congruent. You can write measurements to show congruent sides and angles. In an irregular polygon, not all sides are congruent and not all angles are congruent. You can use the same markings to show the congruent sides and angles. Now let's label a Venn diagram.
So if you look at this picture, this side and this side are marked with 1 hashtag each because they are congruent, whereas the top here and the top here are marked with 2 hashtags each because they are congruent. Same thing with the angles. This angle and this angle are equivalent at the bottom because they are marked both with 1 semicircle. Whereas this angle and this angle on opposite sides at the top are equal because they're each marked with 2 half circles. So that's how you know what sides are equal. It's the ones that are marked the same, whether they have 1 line or 2 lines. If it has all sides the same, it's called a regular polygon. So this would be a regular pentagon. All sides have to be the same and all angles have to be the same. Congruent means equal for it to be a regular polygon. Otherwise, it's a polygon, but it's not a regular polygon.
Name and classify this polygon. Think, how many sides and angles does this polygon have? What kind of polygon is it? Correct. It's a quadrilateral. Are all the sides and all the angles congruent? Correct. All the sides and all the angles are congruent. Is this polygon a regular polygon? Correct. This is a regular polygon.
Okay, so you can tell this is a square because all sides are equal. And on a square, all sides are equal. All of the angles are right angles and they are also equal. And it's a quadrilateral because it has 4 sides. So it is a square. It's also a special rectangle because rectangles' opposite sides are equal. So this is also a rectangle. And it's also a quadrilateral. So a shape can be classified as under more than one category. It's a square and a rhombus and a parallelogram and a quadrilateral. This fits under all 4 of those categories.
Now let's practice with the personal math.
Now we're going to take a look at our workbook pages for the day. So let me exit out of this. The workbook pages that we're looking at today are 65 and 66. So go ahead and open your math book to 65. Question 1. It says this figure has blank sides and blank vertices. Remember, sides are this part right here, along the side, along the top. Vertices are the points where 2 lines come together. So this is a vertice, this is a vertice, this is a vertice. So count them. For 1b, all sides are congruent, which means equal. So the figure is, and which one of these is correct if they are all congruent? Question number 2, count the sides and count the angles. The angles are these part with the rounded half circles on them, where 2 lines come together. And then name the figure. Question number 3. A blank is always a parallelogram. A blank is always a rhombus. And a blank is never a parallelogram. Remember, a parallelogram, opposite sides are parallel, which means they would never cross. A rhombus can look like a diamond or a square. And again, a parallelogram, opposite sides are parallel. That's keyword being parallel in parallelogram. So which word goes in which box, and it can only be used once. Pause the video till you're ready to go to number 4. Okay, question number 4. So on this one, we're filling in this chart. So it says complete the diagram by writing the name of one figure from the tiles in each box. Not every figure will be used. So not all of these words will be used. So when you're looking at this, you're trying to fill it in. So a blank, for this one, a blank is a quadrilateral. Okay. And then for this one, after you fill in this box, a blank is a blank. So a square, you start from the bottom up. So you go, a square is a blank is a blank is a quadrilateral. So once you fill in these words, start at the bottom, read going up, and see if it makes sense. Or start at the top, go down, see if it makes sense. So for example, if I wanted to put triangle here on this second and this first box, is a triangle a quadrilateral? Meaning quad meaning 4 and lateral meaning sides. So would a triangle be a quadrilateral? No. So obviously triangle does not go here. So you've got to fill in these words. For part B, Mario claims that a rhombus is sometimes a square, but a square is always a rhombus. So first draw 2 versions of what a rhombus looks like. And you might have to, if you don't remember what a rhombus looks like, you can Google it and look up 2 different ways that a rhombus can look, and then use that information to answer this question. Explain it. Question number 5. Count the sides, count the angles on this shape, and then name the shape. Pause your video till you've answered all those questions before you go to the next page. Okay, question number 1. It has 3 sides and 3 angles, and they are congruent, so it is a regular polygon. Question number 2. It has 8 sides and 8 angles, or 8 vertices, so it is a regular octagon. On question number 3, a rectangle is always a parallelogram because opposite sides are equal on a rectangle and opposite sides are parallel on a rectangle. A square is always a rhombus because on a rhombus, opposite sides are equal, opposite angles are equal. And because these are all 90-degree angles, all of these opposite angles are equal. And then for 3C, a trapezoid is never a parallelogram because this side right here is not parallel to this side right here. Only the top and the bottom are parallel. So on a trapezoid, this side on the right and on the left, those are not parallel, so it's not a parallelogram. Question number 4. When you fill in the words, you should have parallelogram in the top box, then rhombus. Because if I read going down, or I like to start at the bottom and read going up. So a square is always a rhombus because it has opposite sides are equal, opposite angles are equal. A rhombus is always a parallelogram because on a rhombus, opposite sides are parallel. And then a parallelogram is always a quadrilateral because for there to be opposite sides that are parallel, obviously it must have 4 sides. Question or part B. A rhombus is sometimes not a square because look at this diamond. These 2 lengths at the bottom are not equivalent to these 2 lengths at the top. So therefore it's not a square, not all sides are equal, but opposite angles are equal. The top angle is equal to the bottom angle and the side angles are the same. So opposite angles are equal, not opposite sides on this shape. On question number 5, it has 6 angles and 6 sides and 6 angles, so it is a regular hexagon. If you have any questions, Google those shapes on YouTube and you can watch some videos about polygons. Have a great day.